Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So the first thing that I wanted to say, there will hopefully be a video earlier today that's about the shop update, and so this will be there, but this is kind of the first one that I'm actually voice recording. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for the last shop update. So I haven't spoken to you since then. I launched a collection of mermaid palettes on Etsy, and they just vanished immediately, and I was just I think I'm still in shock, and yeah, how much you guys loved them, and I really appreciate that. And I have been working through all that for another shop update. Hopefully that went well today. So I'm going to try and leave shop update things on their own videos, and then I wanted to just use this video to talk about my top my perfect pencil palette. So it would be my top 36 if I could curate my own palette, and I guess that's what I've done. But these are pencils I would actually love to get a pencil tin and actually put these ones in. I really love this collection of pencils, and some of them, I think all of them, some of them I've bought more than once, but I think, you know, if I could have a stock, you know, extras on hand of all of these, I would love that. So and you can see here, so I'm just showing you through, this has kind of been my sketchbook this year. So it's just my planner. It's a Leuchtturm monthly planner, so it just has the months in the front, and I'm actually using the rest of the notebook for knitting notes and YouTube related things, and, you know, planning kind of things. But the front here with the monthly, I didn't really need it, and I've just been going through and doing a couple of squares each day, so I've been really enjoying this, and I'm sort of going through a month every 2 weeks. And so I thought today we would, so here are my top 36 pencils. I really love all of them. It's taken me quite a long time to kind of think about this and find all these colours as well, so I wanted to talk you through those. So we'll go through those, and then we'll actually fill out this page together. So over the last couple of weeks, anytime I've sat down to do a little bit on this page, I just go through the process with you, so you can kind of see how I'm filling up these monthlies, and yeah, just compositionally as well, some thoughts that I have. So when I am doing something, you can see kind of in the first couple of months that I and then next time I thought we might do the top 12 and do this one as well, but, or maybe not next video, but one of the videos. But yeah, you can see in the first couple of months in October, November, December, I wasn't really sure even, you know, how I was going to use this, or if it was going to work for me. But you know, I haven't been able to have a lot of time for painting, so I've just really enjoyed picking up some pencils, you know, a couple of, you know, it might just be 10 minutes a day or less, and just doing a couple of little things. And so one of the things I'm doing here is just you know, ruling out some circles there. And I have also done this with, I think in my how to burnish a color wheel video, I just did it with a plastic cup. You could use a bowl or something like that. And yeah, I'm working here in, this is the Midori Cotton notebook. I really love this one. I love using pencil in it. And you don't have to use pencil. You can do the same types of things that we're doing today. Everything we are sketching and working on, you can do with watercolor. So you can make a color wheel with watercolor, go through and pick your top favorites, you know, all the sketches that we work on towards the end of the video. You can fill up a whole page like this with watercolor as well. And you can see here that the colors will pull in the taupe colors, or, you know, violet colors or pinks. And so what I've kind of tried to do, and I've done several color wheels and different, and you can see here, I really like just creating color wheels and just using it to find different things. And this one here is my top 12 most used color wheel. So but what was I saying? I've gone through over the last year and I've made quite a lot of different color wheels. I've looked at the colors of pencils and I've just tried to get familiar with the actual, you know, medium. So on the left here, on the outside were my like most used, and then the inside rim were my most used. But you can see here it's quite a beautiful palette as well, just my top 12 most used pencils. And I can list those in the description if you want me to as well. But I find with creating art there are so many different facets to it, and one of the, you know, like value and like tonal shifts, temperature shifts, you know, compositional elements, and all these different parts of the even what medium you want to use, and then, you know, just color notes and color palettes. And so I kind of like to break it up and look at different parts of it. So when I'm doing the color wheels, I'm just looking at the color aspect of things and how the colors interplay, and, you know, will they, you know, harmonize well, or are you looking for contrast, or, you know, a deep tonal range, or different things like that. And sometimes, like with my sketchbook, I guess this year I've been just working on these little sketches, and we'll talk about that later and how much I've enjoyed doing that and why and everything. But so we're getting into here. These are my top 36 pencils, and what I did is I actually went in and I probably had, I don't know, 10 or 12 more than this, but I realized that some of them were sort of repeat colors, so I just went from like my favorite out of, you know, that grouping. Okay, so the first colour is probably no surprise if you've seen the channel. This is Neon Pink. This is by Prismacolor. So I actually want to try the Holbein one as well. I really love the Holbein versions of colours and the creaminess of the pencil. But I really love Prismacolor as well. So this is the one I have at the minute. This is the Neon Pink Prismacolor. And yeah, no surprise, it's one of my favourites. I talk a little bit more about why I don't mind using neon colours in the Inspired by Kandinsky video. It's just a few videos back, and actually I was surprised you guys really seemed to like that video, and I think I might try and do some more in that kind of series and take an artist and do kind of an inspired by. Actually, the colour wheels in this video are a little bit inspired by Melissa Sweet, her illustrations. She does children's books and they're just so beautiful. Yeah, so this one here is the Luminous Red. This is by Holbein. Okay, so this next one is the Luminance, the Caran Luminance in the Violet Pink. I really love this colour. It's kind of like a potter's pink colour in a pencil. So I think the first one I got was the Museum Aquarelle, and then this one is, I find that the Luminance are slightly lighter than the Museum Aquarelle ones. I think that's because when you water the other ones out, they pigment them a little bit more, you know, they're a little bit more saturated, so that when you water them out, you're still getting the similar colour. But yeah, beautiful colour. Then this one here is Ash Rose by Holbein. This is such a gorgeous colour as well, and they are fairly similar, but I just love them both. And the Ash Rose is actually almost identical to the burnt, is it the, which one is it? Yeah, so it's the burnt sienna 10%, but it sometimes comes out scratchy, I'm not sure, but this one is really creamy and smooth. And then this one is the Prismacolor Deco Pink, and yeah, this I'm just looking at the page, so I do have 3 different like peaches in here, and again that's kind of a pooling preference, and I think you'll find that some, you know, everyone kind of has areas where they really enjoy the one certain color range, and then they have more colors in that, like a bit more of a variety. So this one here is the Polychromos in the Light Flesh. I'm not sure if they changed the color here, but you know, I just like it. It's kind of a deep peach color. You can see there's a little bit, like the Deco Pink's a bit more prettier, and this one is like a little bit a darker tone. And then I have the Prismacolor Light Peach. So yeah, just a lighter version. So this one you might have guessed is the Luminance Pink White, and if you've seen my video about my palettes from this week, I talk about being inspired by this. I really love this Barely There pink, and it's just such a beautiful way to like finish off, you know, so you can add it over the top of more saturated colors to, you know, soften them. And yeah, it's just a really nice way to do that. So this one here is was the Grey Green Light by Prismacolor. I think that's my top most used pencil. I really love it, like a really soft sage green. And then this one is the Cool Grey 20% from Prismacolor. I think this is like my second most used, and this one could almost go in as a kind of very pale blue grey, but for some reason I just always keep it in as, right, like with this those 2 greens I often use like in shadows or something together. This one here is the Luminance Middle Verdigris, so just kind of a darker tone of the sage, the grey green light. And the other thing is, you can see like how I'm swatching. So when I swatch, I don't just do it to kind of, I don't even do it really to color reference. I'm doing it more to find out about the colors and to practice some sort of skill. So you can see like, I think I'll show you here. Oh, so that was the Luminance Spring Green, and now we're doing the Luminance Raw Umber 10%. Which I've really been loving. It's like a buff titanium color, but so you can see there that I'm kind of on the side of my pencil and I'm doing the first part, and what I'm practicing is shading and lightly, like changing my pressure from light to dark, and then in the center I'm burnishing the color there. So I'm creating layers and building them up. And then you can also see I'm going like in circular motions. So I really like those gradient and gradual changes. And so I'm just practicing that. And again, that doesn't have to be, you know, there's so many different styles, but this is the way I like to do it. And so I like to use this time to kind of just practice and familiarize myself with those things. Of course, like it's always a bit trickier doing it like holding the camera as well. Even like pencil is a lot harder to do. You'll see later, like when we do the sketches, I find it really hard to draw and film at the same time. Painting is a bit different, but okay, so after Raw Umber 10%, we had the Pale Cedar, the Derwent Drawing pencil, and then we had the Luminance Green Ochre, and now we're doing the Luminance Olive Yellow. So you can see like they're all really beautiful muted tones there, and you can see that sort of throughout the palette it sort of fluctuates from bright to softer to muted versions. So that's kind of how I like to use them. And then this one here is the Prismacolor Yellow Chartreuse, and again this one with like the grey-green light I use quite a bit. And then the next pencil will be the Luminance Lemon Yellow. Okay, so this one is the Luminance Dark Indigo, which is a really beautiful, you know, almost black, but it's just got that enough mystery and moodiness. And then this one is the Luminance Bleu de Nimes. So I think this is like a smalt blue, and I really, really love this one as well. Okay, so this one is a Luminance. This is the light Cobalt Blue, but this is very, very similar, if not almost identical to the Derwent Lightfast Mid Ultra Blue. So for a long time I just had the Mid Ultra Blue and I really loved it, so I think they're very interchangeable. This one is Arctic, so this is the Luminance, and you can see it's a barely there blue. Again, really nice for going over the top of other darker colors and, you know, creating softer and different you know, effects. So this one here is the Luminance Light Malachite Green. Again, like even like the Arctic that we just did, you know, you could put that over the top of this one, you could put it over the Bleu de Nimes, you know, or even like over something like the Raw Umber 10%. So there's, you know, they're really nice, these very pale ones. This one here is the Luminance, is it the Luminance, or are they? So the Arctic and the Light Aqua, actually I think they are Derwent Lightfast, not Luminance. Yeah, and you'll see like in the palette as well, I think I have about 5 different sort of tints of white. So the grey-green light in the green one, the Arctic and the Light Aqua in the blue, the pink white, and then the Oyster in the purple. So yeah, 5. Yeah, so this one here is the Dark Plum. This is the Museum Aquarelle Dark Plum. I really love this one. This one here is a new one, actually. Fairly new. A couple of these ones are fairly new, but I really like, ever since I got them I just have not stopped using them. So this one here is the Prismacolor in the Rosy Beige. So this one is another Prismacolor. This is the Lavender. And for some reason, my pencil videos have been from like last year, I've been getting a bit of traction lately. So I'm getting a few questions about pencils and things. And, you know, what's the best one to use like for different applications? And I am not necessarily the best person to ask about that. And for one thing as well, everyone's styles are slightly different depending on what you are trying to create. So, you know, something that might be all right for me might not for you. Like you can see from here, I do not keep my pencils very sharp. So we just had the Prismacolor Grey Lavender. This is the Derwent Lightfast Oyster. Is that right? I will list all these down below as well. yeah, so what I would recommend if you're kind of trying to figure out which pencil set is best for you would be just to get a couple from, you know, a few different, you know, open stock ranges that you're looking at. So if you're looking at the Lightfast or between the Lightfast and Luminance, try a couple of pencils from both in your favorite colors, and hopefully that'll give you a better indication of you know, which one will work better for your style of artwork. So the one we just did was the Luminance, so that was the Luminance Violet Grey. It's one of my all-time favorite pencils. Really, really stunning color. And then this one here is the Derwent Drawing pencil in the chocolate. And I realized that I had this in a box from, I don't know, years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. And yeah, I hadn't really used it much, but we use it today. We actually use it in the sky, which is pretty nice. And then this one here is the Supracolor, Caran Supracolor Brownish Orange. I really like the Supracolors. This one here is the Derwent Metallic in the pink gold. So it's really kind of a, it's almost a silver, but it's just got a little bit of warmth to it, but it's still, you know, very cool and sort of slight pinkish undertones. It's a really pretty color. This one here is the Luminance French Grey 10%. Again, another one that I really love, but this one I probably use more. This is the Fossil. Is this a Derwent Drawing or a Luminance? Yeah, so this is a Derwent Lightfast, and I think those three, you can see they're like the Violet Grey, the Oyster, the Fossil, and then the Grey Green Light and the Cool Grey 20%. They're probably my most used colors. And as far as the Supracolor, the Brownish Orange, if you want like just a more pencil version of that, the and then you can see this is my 36th favorite pencil at the minute. I really love it, and these are my top 12. We'll talk about those in a different video, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Caran Supracolor are water soluble, so if you're just looking for a pencil version of that, the Derwent Lightfast Sienna is also a super beautiful color. It's a little bit lighter, that's why I like the Brownish Orange, but I really do like the Sienna as well. It's really nice. So you can see here that we are I'm just kind of showing you, this is how I've been doing those really simple color wheels. And like I said, these are kind of inspired by Melissa Sweet. So we have so many of her books kind of around, and yeah, she illustrated and wrote one about E.B. White just a few years ago, but really, really lovely work. And she does all these collages, and I think between her and Jill Barklam, who did Brambley Hedge, I think they're probably two of my top favorite you know, illustrators. And yeah, she just always does these really bright and fun kind of color swatching inspo, and I think it's so interesting and important for kids. But I also just really love seeing color that way as well. So I thought, you know, we did the Inspired by Kandinsky, and we kind of did the concentric circles, and I really just wanted to do some color wheels in this kind of more fun way. So, and you can see here, these are the colors that would be my top 12 favorites. I actually snuck in 2 more, so there's really 14, but I'll just list those below as well. Okay, so you can see even in this little sketchbook, I really like to start it the way I like to start sketchbook pages, which is it's not always with gold ink, but quite often I really do like the Winsor & Newton gold ink and a dip pen, and I can link the ones that I like below. But yeah, this is my favorite sort of combination, and I really like to start pages like this, and it just kind of sets the tone for, you know, the page going forward. And so then what I've been doing is, in the space, so there's always kind of a longer space where there's no days, and I've been practicing little landscapes, you know, in that longer space. And this is one of the things that I really enjoy and appreciate about, like I've really enjoyed using this book for this year, is that it's just a small space. I don't have to commit to a lot of area or a lot of work. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. You know, I can even put washi tape over it if I really don't like it, which I have done a couple of times. If I just want to practice and try some different color combinations, I have a little note of that. So, you know, like at the minute I just don't have time to sit down and kind of do these larger works or more elaborate pieces, and so there's still this little reference that I can go back to and say, you know, this is kind of what I was thinking about, and I'd like to, you know, work on something like that. Okay, so I put in the moon and erased it several times, but you can see that the colours that I'm using here are not your typical colours. Like, I'm kind of thinking about a Tuscan countryside, and you know, I'm not just using like typical, you know, greens and things like that. I'm also thinking about kind of dusk, and I want this kind of mauve, you know, dusky tone throughout the piece. So you can see here, like what we were just talking about before, kind of the colours that I have been, like, I kind of gravitate towards. And yeah, I end up putting in the chocolate for the top of the sky there to make it dark, but give it a bit of a different feeling than just, you know, a blue or a black. I also just erased, I'm just showing you here with my really grubby eraser, that I just erased the moon and the circle around it as well. So that might be something that I do, you know, over a couple of days. I just work on a little bit of it, and then I'll come back to it the next day or two. And now we're starting a new day, and and like, for example, putting in the month, that might just be the first thing I do on the first day, leave that, then come back to it and start something else and take a few days to do that. And it's just supposed to be sort of a quick exercise and a little bit of, you know, thinking about something creative and practicing a little bit of sketching without it being too precious, or without there being too much pressure there as well. So yeah, I've really enjoyed this. I think it really builds creative muscle quite quickly. So, and you can see like the first thing I did was just the pale green stripes, and now I'm doing these little roses. And again, I am thinking about the colors we just used in the piece above, and I'm thinking now that I need to transition. So I want to use the 36 color palette on the whole page, which means that at some point I'm going to be introducing, you know, neon pink and different colors. So I have to kind of think about how I want to gradually, you know, allow that to happen. And so that's where one of these just sort of mindless little exercises, just doing a couple of squares a day, can really come in handy, because suddenly, you know, these are things that you will have to think about in artworks. How do I get from this color to this color? How do I create a transition here? How do I tell this visual narrative? And so, you know, just doing something like this, like I can see even from the first ones that I started and I didn't really know what I was doing, how there has been like growth from just trying to figure out how to, you know, create a page here. So yeah, so I'm taking the greens, is what I've kind of decided to, you know, go into pinks, is I'm taking the greens and then a neutral. So the pink gold is what I used for the roses, and then I am, and you can see they're not the brightest greens, but I am, you know, slowly introducing color. And again here, so I've taken the a peach color. I think this is the Deco Peach. I am not, you know, going straight in for a bright pink. I'm trying to gradually introduce, oh, there's going to be, you know, a shift in color here. Okay, so this is another day, and this is where I'm trying to sketch my dip pen, just coming out from behind the color wheel here, and we'll talk a little bit more. I have kind of developed like a little printable for you so you can, you know, follow along or trace some of these prompts. But yeah, so I am just, yeah, this will just be one day, is just drawing this little element on the page and practicing, just, you know, drawing something simple. So drawing, I think, is a little bit daunting, or sketching, and I have had, you know, plenty of comments about how tricky that element is, and it's been really tricky for me as well. And that's why I really like this kind of situation where you're just practicing small things each day. And so it's not a huge investment, which means that you don't you're not that upset if it doesn't work out, and you kind of feel like, okay, I could try again tomorrow, or I could try it a different way. You know, when you've like poured hours into you know, a painting or something, and then it doesn't work out the way you envisioned it, then you can get quite frustrated. And this is just a really nice way to sort of take a step back and yeah, just do something very simply. So what I'm doing here, and you can see that I am not being careful with my lines, I'm just doing a shadow. So I just want it to look sort of fuzzy and the sort of shape. It does not have to be the exact shape. Okay, so this is the printable that I was talking about before. So this is 101 ideas to sketch and paint. So this actually isn't in the shop yet. I should have it finished. I've got to tweak a couple of things in Photoshop, and then hopefully that will be finished and up by the end of next week, so next weekend. But yeah, like I just put down a whole, I actually started this for me, so one of the days I was just, and then this will be another one, like little mini chateaus, and I just think this is so cute as well. So I wanted some ideas to, I actually started just with a list of ideas to sketch. Like some days when I kind of get to the planner, I'm not exactly sure what I want to sketch, and so I just wanted a little list there to kind of tell me, oh yeah, this would be good and this would be good. And you can see here in my weekly planner, I'm also practicing just little frames. I think at one point I sketched the ceramic paper crane on my desk there as well. So just little things like that, and I'm just trying to kind of improve with the sketching. So often like I will go from, so I think, like I was talking about before, like I go from different, like from a different part. So if I can't work on one thing at the minute, like I can't paint at the minute very much, I'm working on either color mixing or in this case sketching. So yeah, you can see all the little bits and pieces there, and so yeah, with the rest of the page we're going to take things from there. Like these are little ink bottles, then we do the little paintbrushes, and one of the plates, and we're just going to draw them. And so yeah, when I was doing this one, actually the shadows, and I kind of try and point out how I am following the shape of just the outline of the thing, and then turning it kind of 30 degrees and using just the basic shape. But I think I'll do a whole video just on how to draw or paint shadows, and yeah, I'm just gonna leave you guys to watch some of this. I'll like pop on if there's anything I need to say, but yeah, it's been a long, I would say 2 weeks of no sleep. I didn't just want the channel to kind of become like shop update videos, I wanted to give you like a regular videos as well. So yeah, and I hope you guys like this. I'm not sure, because it's not watercolor, but yeah, so alright, see you in a minute. Okay, so we are wrapping up the process here. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. So you can see here, like when I am doing these emblems, and I have a whole couple of videos about these, but I like to do the one side and then the other to try and keep it fairly symmetrical. You know, obviously it doesn't have to be perfect. And then with something like this, like I'll draw the circle first, start at the top, and then, you know, go down the sides. And that just kind of helps to balance everything out a little bit. I'm not sure why, but every night before a shop update it seems to be 4 AM video editing and everything like that, so I need to get this one off the iPad so that I can get the shop one up and edit that and organize that. So yeah, still quite a bit to do even at 4 AM. And if you're wondering why I seem kind of, you know, scatterbrained a bit sometimes, it's because of that. Like I'm thinking so many different things. I'm thinking about this video, but then I've got to do the other video, and then I've got to, you know, make sure of this or that. There's just so many kind of different moving parts. But anyway, I just wanted to say again thank you, and the things that were from the last update should hopefully be shipping out Monday morning, so hopefully you'll be getting those soon, and I really hope that you like them. What else? So in upcoming videos, and you can see the art when I did the pear as well in this video, that I used the raw umber. So I think this is the raw umber 10% as well, but I used, instead of using like the green ochre or maybe something that would be more fitting for a pear, I used the raw umber 10% with the pale cedar, and then I used the indigo for the stem. So yeah, and then when I'm doing this, I'm using the paintbrush with the gold ink, and I'm not putting the whole line down. I'm just putting, you know, bits and pieces to kind of signify light and shadow. And what was I going to say? So for upcoming videos, I want to do my top 5 favorite sketchbooks and paint the plate that was in the printables from Christmas. I've been wanting to paint that plate ever since yeah, I drew that. So maybe we'll see, that might be our next video if I can get it done, or the top 12 pencils and another kind of one of these. And also I wanted to do one, so I get quite a lot of questions on how to paint more loosely, and which I feel like is a bit of a funny question, because I don't really feel like I have a very loose style, but I think what you are asking is how to be comfortable and, you know, to not be precious and to just paint, and to paint, you know, with painterly strokes, brush strokes. So that is that's something I'd like to do a video on as well. So those will be kind of maybe 3 videos coming up. We'll see how, you know, it'll just depend what I can get done, or there might be something else, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, this is the finished product. And oh, also there's some footage coming up about some drawing practice. So I think at the beginning of February I was also working on some other drawing elements and things, and so there will be a video coming out about that as well. It's really beautiful. We'll do some simple shapes and things. There are plenty of videos on YouTube, but I think I'll just put my own twist on it. And yeah, so I will let you watch that. Then there's a little bit of just a sneak peek at the shop updates. If you haven't seen that, you might not be interested in it, so that's why I didn't want to, you know, share the whole thing on this video. but it also might be nice for like inspiration and, you know, mixing inspiration. So just whatever you think. Anyway guys, I will leave you for now and have a really lovely couple of weeks, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.